The Bread and Better podcast acknowledges the Yagara people and the Turrbal people as the traditional custodians of Meanjin, the lands on which we record today. We pay our respects to the Yagara and Turrbal elders, past, present, and emerging. This podcast is brought to you by Hey Al Productions.
Did I say good? Did I get you to do it one more time?
Maybe just in case.
Okay, do it one more time. Go. Bread and Better podcast. Okay. Bread and Better podcast. I feel like I am. Bread and Better podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Bread and Better podcast. Before we get started, we just wanted to give a quick shout out to everyone who has left us a review already. If you are new to the show and you're enjoying it, we would absolutely love it if you could please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or a star rating if you're listening on Spotify. It really helps get the word out there about the podcast and will eventually help us make money from the podcast, which means we'll be able to put more time into it. So if you are enjoying it, please make sure you go ahead and leave us a review. I am Tegan. I'm a personal trainer, sports nutritionist, chef, and all-round hype girl. And if you're wondering why I still have a cold from last week's episode, we're recording 2 episodes in the same day. I'm okay. I'm better now, I'm sure. I'm manifesting that I'll be better.
In 2 weeks, she will be better.
Tomorrow I will be better.
Yeah. And I am Alex. I'm a podcast producer, writer, and mum of 3. Today's episode is going to be so much fun. I've had so much fun, even just like in the planning of it. Like a lot of you guys, Tegan and I were born in the 90s and very, very late 80s, respectively.
I was going to say, were you born in the 90s?
Very late. I just made it into the 80s. Recently, I read an article on BuzzFeed that listed some very, very specific things that kids did in the 90s. And it was so fun and freakily relatable. So I thought it would make a great ep for us.
I just want to disclaimer this by saying that my memory is shit. So I touched on it in the last episode about how like different brains work in different ways. And you know when someone says to you, oh, you know, in grade 4 I remember that my friend said this to me. And I'm like, what the fuck? How do you remember anything in that much detail?
Yeah.
And you can remember things in that, or like
everything.
When I was 12 years old, and none of this would have come out of my brain. Like now that we say it, I can remember it.
Yeah.
But I don't have that vivid of a memory. So if I suck at some of this, I apologize. I'm excited. But I just don't have, It's this funny. Weird thing where some people like, I don't really remember my childhood. I'm like, I feel like that's me.
Yeah. Yeah, Kev's the same. Like, honestly, I was showing him these things and he's like, no. But I mean, that could also be he grew up in South Africa, but.
That'll do it.
That'll do nothing.
He grew up in a different country.
That's probably it. But
also, he's a guy.
Yeah. But as we've established, you guys have very similar brains.
Yeah. It must be something to do with like logical, like it's got to be some sort of.
Well, I think it's like I talk to Kev all the time about like I so wish I could just clear out a few of the songs that I know the words to, because I feel like I know all of the words to like most songs, and just like clear that out for like maths or something.
Yeah.
Useful. And he's like, he thinks that he literally can just like remove things like memories that he doesn't need, like for new stuff.
I think that I removed a few of mine with excessive drinking.
Yeah, maybe.
Do you know that I could speak not fluent Japanese, but I could speak Japanese well enough to give a speech in Japanese?
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and now I can't remember any Japanese.
Oh. Arigato. That's all we said in Japan. Arigato.
I think like watashi wa Tegan desu means hello, my name is Tegan. Yeah. And everything beyond that is gone. Like we used to have exchange students and I could somewhat speak to them.
I think languages you just have to keep practicing.
The people that can speak multiple languages blow my mind. Like I think
wild.
They're geniuses.
Yeah, I know someone that can speak 3 and I'm
wild.
Like, oh my God, I can barely speak
also,
English.
Also people that read music. My brain just does not work like that.
Oscar's learning music at the moment and oh my God, it blows my mind.
That's a different language.
Yeah, he's also learning division. And the other day he's like, Mummy, can you help me? And I was like, in all seriousness, no.
Go ask Dad.
Yeah, and like I was sitting next to him and I was trying to help him and he'd be like, is it 96? And I'd look at Kevin and be like, is it 96? And he'd be like, no.
That's so funny.
It's so bad.
So kicking off the pod, best thing we ate in the last week.
Okay, I haven't had eggs in about 2 years because when I was very sick, I think it was just like, I don't know, too much protein or something in my stomach, like could not process them, made me ill. And the other night I was like, I'm just going to give it a go. And I made a bagel with eggs. Like I poached eggs and I did poached eggs, baby spinach, vegan cheese and bacon.
Yep.
It was delicious.
Bagels are so good.
Bagels are, gluten-free bagels aren't that good unless they're from Bagel Bros, then they're amazing. But it was
Do you mean
so
Bagel
yummy.
Boys?
Yep, that's what I mean.
I remember maybe the very first episode we ever did, this nostalgia.
Look at you remembering.
You said Bagel Bros and at the time didn't clock it. And
Yeah.
then when I listened to it back, I was like, I definitely think that's called Bagel Boys, but I'm just going to let it go.
It is. It's Bagel Boys.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was fine. It was
See,
very
my
yummy.
brain will remember something stupid like that. But do you know what? I weirdly remember events
Yeah.
by what I was wearing.
Oh, yeah.
Strange.
Very strange. What was yours?
So I've been eating at home a lot and I really like making this meal that is very, very basic. Like I have it for lunch. I put down salad in the bowl. So it's like just like basic, like tomato, cucumber, onion, avocado, lettuce, cheese. And then I put Kewpie mayo, sweet chili and this spicy buffalo sauce.
Yum.
And then in the oven, I put sweet potato that I cut into chips and like a chicken tender.
This
like,
is very much my kind of food.
yeah, like the KFC style like tenders that you just put in the oven. And then I just chuck the sweet potato and the chicken on top. And then it's like spicy, like a spicy zinger bowl.
This is like what I eat.
So good.
Yum.
So good. I've had it
And
the last 4
filling.
days in a row.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah. And cost effective.
Yep.
Good for the budget.
Kids love that stuff too.
Probably be a bit spicy depending on kids. Some kids like spice.
Oh,
Your
yeah.
kids like spice?
Yeah. Of course I do. They like everything.
Spicy.
Except for like Sol. You'll give him like a peppermint. He had a peppermint patty the other day and he was like, oh, spicy.
I accidentally gave Kennedy a piece of spicy salami.
Oh, no. Was he going like,
Yeah, he's like, I'm like, drink some water, drink some water. I forgot that was spicy.
poor Kenny.
Do you know what I gave him yesterday? This is a real pivot. This is the best thing Kenny ate in the last week.
Yeah.
I saw this on Instagram and you know, you get those licky mats.
Yeah.
You put an egg on there and scramble it and then cook it in the microwave and then let them like lick the egg off it. And it said that somebody said that it took their golden retriever like 40 minutes. It probably took Kenny 15 to 20, but he had the time of his life.
Oh, cute.
Happiest boy.
Oh, that's nice.
Happiest boy.
Makes me feel sick, but that's nice.
Well, I wouldn't want to eat scrambled egg off a little fucking mat either.
Yeah.
But have you seen that meme that's like, I can't work out if I like eggs or not?
Yeah.
That's me.
Oh, you're like eating eggs and you're like, this is delicious. Yuck, this tastes like egg. That's me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Kev's
haven't-
obsessed with eggs.
So my mum and Julia both say that like eggs are like their comfort food.
Oh, yeah.
I've got to be like heavy in the mood.
Same. I have to like really want it. And
Yeah.
normally for dinner, like I'll have bacon and eggs for dinner. I could not wake up and eat an egg.
Oh, I've had eggs a few times in the last little bit. I feel like I've been having them a little bit more. I could never just eat a cold boiled egg. I'd rather die.
Same. Disgusting.
So gross.
So gross.
I only had like, do you know, I only started eating not any eggs that weren't scrambled when I was like 25.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Hey, this is nostalgic.
Yeah.
When you were little, did you ever have the boiled eggs and like you'd cut them in half and put it in a little egg cup and then
Yeah,
you'd
my
have
brother
the
did,
soldiers
but
and
I
dip them
didn't
in?
because I didn't like eggs.
You had to have the scrambled
Although my
ones.
nan never remembered that I didn't like eggs, so she'd always ask me if I want egg.
Like,
Also, what does your family call like hot sauce or black sauce or Worcestershire sauce?
they don't eat it, but like my mum and dad would call it Worcestershire sauce.
I think we call it black sauce or hot sauce, but everyone's family has like a weird name for it.
What does your family call like a boiled egg?
A boiled egg.
Oh, we call it a googie egg.
Yeah, people do
Yeah,
that.
okay, because Kev thought that was so weird.
I put this down further, but what our family calls it, I'm pretty sure this is only us. And if anybody else calls it this, I'd love for you to let me know.
Okay.
You know, like a fold-out bed. Remember when like we were kids, everyone had like a fold-out bed?
Everyone had a fold-out bed.
Yeah,
it was a
like,
thing.
You just wheeled it
And
out
they were
from behind some fucking couch somewhere.
Yeah,
Or
like-
under a bed or
Yes.
something.
We more had like the fold-out sofa bed that, you know, you pulled the things off and you pulled the big mattress
Oh,
down. It was
no,
so much
I'm
effort.
talking like it's like a single
yeah,
bed
like
that
a
you like
roll away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My family calls it a cookie bed.
A cookie bed.
And I think the mattress might have had the Cookie Monster on it. And I think that's why we call it a cookie bed. So it would be like, oh, you know, your cousin's going to be here, go get the cookie bed.
Yeah.
And then I remember going to someone's house and they were saying like, cookie bed. I said cookie bed. And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Get me the cookie bed.
That's like, you know, like Izzy.
Yeah.
She used to call her dressing gown her brunchy coat.
brunchy coat.
Yeah.
Because you wear it to brunch. Wait, I feel like I had like something like that when I was little, and it was like a breakfast coat.
I think that's where it comes from.
Oh, that's funny. What does your family call a face wash?
A washer?
We call it as a flannel.
Oh, I think that's American.
Yeah. Well, let's just get right into it.
Okay. Well, I think we're in.
So basically, I've just written a list of all the things I could remember and some things that came up on TikTok, and we're just gonna bounce off them.
Yeah, cool.
I think everyone's gonna love this. So first one.
This episode is purely for vibes.
Yeah, purely for vibes. You're not gonna learn anything from
If
this.
you came here for tangible tips,
You're just gonna
just
be
keep
like,
listening because it's gonna be fun.
it's gonna be fun, and you're gonna be like, I had this, I didn't have this, I wanted this. It's
Or,
gonna create good
yeah.
chat.
Yeah.
For your friends.
No, you guys love this shit.
Yeah. All right. So these are things we all wanted as kids. Lisa Frank stationery.
Is this the little monkey?
No, that's Paul Frank. This is, I have a screenshot because I thought you might not be able to remember. And I had this exact thing. It was all like very bright.
Never seen it before.
It was like very bright. It was like
We're off to a cracking start.
It was like unicorns and cats and tigers. This one that I'm looking at is like pigs floating in lilos on a river with turtles. It was like everybody wanted it when I was in primary school. Big thing.
Nah.
No? Okay. All right. Surely you had this. Impulse body spray.
Yeah, that stuff slapped.
It was the best.
Yeah.
I had the Spice Girls one.
Oh, I remember the Spice Girls one.
Yep. And you could get like all different. There was like cool, and they had like the butterflies and stuff on them.
I feel like the fact that I used those bum cream sprays.
Yes.
Like the Sol Gennaros maybe means that I'm not out of my impulse body spray era. But people always tell me that I smell nice.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is $38 from Mecca.
It's not like, what was it? I feel like it was like $4.95 for a bottle of impulse spray.
Yeah. And what about how it has like no deodorizing factors?
Oh, not at all. People used to wear it as deodorant, I remember in high school, and you'd be like, no, that's just masking something.
You still stink.
You need real deodorant. It definitely was not a deodorant. It just smelled good.
Yeah, lip smackers were cool.
Lip smackers were the best.
This is making me realize that I'm just the exact same person that I used to be, because now I love these Lano lips.
Oh, Lano lips are great. They're the adult version of a lip smacker. I had the series, it was like Coke. Did you have the Coke one?
No, I remember I really liked like a pink one that was like sparkly on the outside.
Was it these? Because I've screenshot this for the Instagram.
And some of them had a Diamante on the top.
These ones.
Yeah.
They were my favorite. They were the limited edition jewel lips.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
they smelled so good.
So good. Blow up furniture
Yeah, that stuff was fucking weird.
and the blow up backpacks.
I don't know that I had a backpack.
Yeah, I had the like blow up silver backpack.
I remember needing to have a blow up couch.
Yes.
And
And
they
the
were so
blow-up chair.
sticky.
They weren't practical.
No, they're not
You have to sit down
practical
very
at all.
carefully or they would burst.
Although I did see a nostalgia thing of someone that didn't know what to do with all their stuffed toys. So they had stuffed them in an inflatable couch.
How'd they get them in there?
I don't know. I didn't make it.
They must, like,
obviously
cut
cut a
their
hole
stuff. That's
and like glued it up.
cute.
But yeah, they put all their stuffed toys in there.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
All right. Polly Pockets.
The little things that open
Yeah.
and the little things go inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one of those.
They were the best.
Yeah.
Do you know that they're worth so much money now if you have like an original Polly Pocket?
Do you know what I always wanted that I
Yeah.
never got? A baby born.
Oh, I never had a baby born either.
And I remember like there was a girl on my street that had one, and I used to give her the bottle. I thought it was the coolest thing. And you know how it went to the toilet?
Yeah. Danielle had it, like my sister had a baby born, and I was pretty jealous of it.
Yeah.
I wasn't really into dolls, but I remember wanting hers
Yeah.
because it would do cool things. Like you'd feed it
Yeah,
that powdered food and it would poo.
Yeah, I just wanted it to poo and wee, which
Yeah.
is fucking weird.
It's so weird. It's so weird. Jelly sandals.
I don't know if I had jelly sandals. I know what they are, and I know that they had a revival.
They did,
Maybe
but-
I did. Maybe Mum. Mum, can you please confirm or deny?
Yes, I had ones that lit up.
What about, and this is in high school, those platforms that were made of like cane on top?
Oh my God, I had so many of those.
Yeah, they were like cane, and then they were like thick foam and black on the
Yes.
top. I thought that they were the coolest.
Yeah, I had those. Did you ever have, when you were younger, they were like foam platforms and they were Billabong, but they always made you trip over a
I
death
mean, when I
trap.
first got my dog slides, Doc slides. I'm the same person.
You are the same
I've just
person.
like slightly up-leveled all of the things I like.
Furbies.
Also really wanted one, never got one, but they're fucking creepy.
So I wanted a Furby so bad and I saved all of my money. And then when I was 11, my birth father took me and my sister to Malaysia and I finally bought one and then I brought it home and it didn't speak English. So it was like such a waste of money.
It's giving those little gremlin things.
Yeah, they're pretty and they're so expensive. Do you know you can get Furbies now and they're like $75? I'm sure they were expensive then too. On the collectibles, Beanie Babies.
Did they have a scent to them?
Some of them had scents.
Yeah, I just had a flashback of like one of mine having like a banana scent.
Yeah, I had these ones. I had all of these. The little cats.
Oh, that's not what I'm picturing in my mind.
No, they're different. So there's those and then there's the actual bears. And the bears came in like rainbow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they had little names on the tags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had names.
They were huge. People were obsessed with them.
Actually, remember porcelain dolls had names?
Oh my God. I was obsessed with porcelain dolls. I totally forgot. Do you remember going into like, was it called Home Mart? Like there would be stores, like homeware stores inside shopping centers and they had this smell and you would go in and you could buy porcelain dolls from there. Like where else did you get porcelain dolls from? They're weird.
They are weird.
Little Victorian girls and you'd brush their hair. I had a whole shelf of them.
Creepy.
So creepy.
Kids' toys are so creepy.
Do you know what happened to my porcelain dolls?
Someone smashed their faces.
No, Eamon, my little brother.
So aggressive.
So aggressive. He was like, he would have been like 1.5. He did a poo and took the nappy off and he smeared it into all my porcelain dolls.
Oh,
And all
that's,
their
I
hair.
think they would rather their faces get smashed.
I had to throw them all in the bin, my whole collection. But remember that little socks and stuff? Like little frilly socks?
Yes.
They were so detailed. That's such a weird thing to collect.
Yeah, porcelain dolls are strange.
If anyone has
And
any.
how their eyes did like the blinks.
Yes. So creepy. And they
creepy.
had the little stands. Weird. So weird. Tamagotchis?
Yeah. We had heaps of Tamagotchis and never kept them alive for long.
Nah, I was really bad at keeping them
What
alive.
was that supposed to teach us? Like responsibility?
Maybe.
Remembering to feed it?
Sometimes I'd kill them on purpose.
Dark. Very dark. I feel like I would get like on a real hot streak and slay.
Yeah.
And then I would forget about it and then it'd be dead. Or
Yeah.
you'd like, I remember I'd like give it to my mum or my dad to try and keep alive or something.
Yeah, sometimes I'd get a bit bored of it, so I would let it come close to death and then I would have more fun trying to revive it. So messed up.
It is a bit messed up. I mean, I get the concept of trying to teach kids responsibility.
Yeah. Maybe that's what a baby born was supposed to do.
You had to clean up its poop?
Yeah.
Strange.
Play weird games with it and it would just be like,
How'd it go?
marbles.
We weren't big into marbles.
Really? Our school was obsessed with marbles.
No.
Ah.
We didn't get the marbles craze.
And they had all different shapes and there were some that were like clear and they had a spiral thing in the middle.
Yeah, I know what a marble is.
And we would like trade them and stuff.
You
So
know what was
funny.
big? I see that you've got Tarzos.
Yeah.
And I remember Tarzos.
Yeah.
And I remember having them. I don't remember much about them.
Yeah.
But just below me, so like my brother's age, Pokemon cards were fucking huge.
And they're huge now again.
Have you seen that meme on Instagram where it's like, show me that your partner will never cheat on you without showing me? And it's like, and she's like, can you show me your favorite Pokemon card? And he's like, wee!
That's so funny. That's very Kev. Yeah, no, they
I have Pokemon cards.
No, but just like lots of nerdy things. Anything Spider-Man. But I just remembered something else. Thinking about Tarzos, they had all these iconic things on them and there was like Space Jam ones.
Oh yeah, I remember. Do Tarzos come in chips?
Yeah, you could get them in chips. And they were sparkly and there was Pogs as well, which was like kind of a different type.
Yeah, I remember the like sparkly Tarzos.
Yeah, they were fun. I don't remember what you did. I think you'd like flick them.
Did they have a purpose?
I think you collected them and you could do things with them and you'd play a game and like you could win them.
Right.
All right, these are very random things. And once I started looking at one, then I couldn't stop.
Wormhole.
Umbrellas, like cocktail umbrellas.
Yeah, I remember. I thought they were really cool.
And then
you
they
wanted
had-
to keep them in the little rubber band.
Yeah, the little rubber band and you'd roll it off and like pop them up.
Yeah.
And I would keep them for my Barbies.
Oh, cute. That's so clever.
Right? Like why don't we use those anymore?
Bring them back.
I don't really drink cocktails, so maybe you do.
No, I drank plenty of cocktails and nobody's put an umbrella in it recently.
Bring them back. And then what about like the little plastic?
It's probably to do with like waste.
Yeah, the environment.
Yeah.
What about the little plastic animals that used to sit on the side?
Completely had forgotten about that, but then I saw this pop up on my socials recently.
There was like a monkey and a donkey and a mermaid. We used to collect them. I spent a lot of time in pubs growing up, so I had a lot of these for my Barbie houses.
Yeah, we used to go to like dinner at the pub and stuff. And
Right.
Yeah.
It was like a big thing. I took my kids to a pub for an event. We went to the bar and they're like, what is this place again? And I'm like, a pub. And they're like, are we allowed? Are you sure we're allowed here? And I was like, oh yeah, trust me.
I remember like going to the pub for dinner. Sorry, I'm going to out you here, Mum. And being like, just sit there because I'm going to go play the pokies for a little bit.
Oh, totally. And like, did you play Keno?
Yes.
Keno was the best.
Keno's fun.
We used to play a lot of Keno.
Yes.
So good.
We used to beg Mum to put on a Keno.
Yeah, put $5 in. Okay, and then this, I almost like made one actually, and then I completely forgot.
I could never make this. I could never get it right.
I could, and I loved it. So you would peel the little blue plastic thing out of the lid of like a Coke bottle and make it into a bracelet.
Yeah, I thought it was cool, but I could never do it.
It was like a fine. It took a while and you couldn't rush it because you'd snap it.
Yeah, I'm clearly impatient. What about those black and then coloured?
The fuck me bands.
Yeah. And I feel like people used to like, I remember being like in early high school and the girl next door to me was in grade 12.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was like corresponding to how many people they'd slept with.
That's what it was supposed to be, I think.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh, what about, and I know that these have had a revival too, but I couldn't wear it now, the tattoo chokers.
Oh my God, I loved them.
Yeah, they were cool.
They were so cool. They were a bit skanky.
Yeah.
But very cool. I remember I had a velvet choker and it had like a little emblem thing on the front and it was my favorite thing that I ever had.
Yeah, I can see you in that.
Yeah. Magnolia always asked me for those tattoo choker things and I'm like, no, you're 5 or 6 or however old she is. Drawing those pointy S things.
The Superman S.
Yes. Is it a Superman S? I guess it is.
Yeah.
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 I was obsessed with them and it was like a pipe system.
Yeah.
I showed Oscar how to do that the other day and he thought it was very cool.
It is cool.
I'd like to know the meaning behind it and like what it is and how it came about.
Superman.
I don't know that it is.
That's what it is in my mind.
Okay. Well, let's look into that. Okay. This is one that I did very, very often. Pretending to inject yourself with a lead pacer.
It's so strange.
So strange.
We were fucking weird.
It was a real thing. And then it'd be so annoying if the lead pacer broke on your skin. Then you're screwed. Do you remember what a thing pacers were?
Yeah, pacers were cool.
They were the biggest thing. And like how annoying trying to thread the lead in all the time.
Yeah, well, you're supposed to put it in the back.
Yeah, but it would snap.
Yeah, they're not very functional.
They're not functional at all.
Well, I just had this vivid memory of one of my teachers had a pencil sharpener that you wound, and we were always like, I need to sharpen my pencil.
Same. They were the best. Okay. I did this all the time too. Putting like a pin, like a safety pin through your skin.
Oh, yeah.
Like through the top layer.
Yeah, I've done it. It gives me the ick.
I feel like we had a lot of spare time. Like, and how did we have access to these safety pins in school? Very weird.
Well, what about when you had like your badges and stuff?
Oh, yes. That's where it would have come from.
We had heaps of badges.
Yeah, we did have heaps of badges. I remember.
Student council.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember having safety pins and you would unravel them, decorate them with beads and then ravel them back up and they were like a thing.
Yeah.
And people would sell them at school. Covering your hand in glue, or I used to do with glitter glue and then like peeling it all off.
No.
You didn't do that?
No.
I used to get so bored and I would just cover my whole hand in glitter glue. And people used to do it with like that white clag glue too and you just peel it all off. It's very satisfying. I'd probably do that now as an adult. Things that you sell. Selling silkworms.
I don't know what that is.
What? Was this not a thing at your school?
Like actual silkworms?
I feel like this was a thing of the 90s and I really hope there's other people listening that aren't from Jim Boomer that also did this. So these are little silkworms and they grow on a mulberry tree and like we would bring them to school and you would sell them to people in like a little takeaway container and then you would also be able to sell your mulberry leaves because they can't live without them.
No.
No?
That seems specific.
Well, DM us or respond to. We're going to have a lot of good stories from this content. But that was a real thing. This one, I feel like everyone did this.
The black market silkworm trade of Jim Boomer.
I made so much money doing really random shit like that as a kid. And when it was like Melbourne Cup when I was in year 7 and like this is before I was like, up to the cup and all that. But I used to set up like a betting syndicate with my classmates and take a cut in year 7. I'd get them all to bring like $1.
That's so clever.
So much money. I know. Yeah. I was an entrepreneur. This very specific, talking into a fan.
I think that's still entertaining now.
Well, I don't think many people have pedal fans anymore, do they?
Pedestals?
Yeah.
Well, no.
But it was fun.
I had one in our old apartment. We had one for Kenny in summer because it was a bit hot.
That's so cute.
He used to face it at his bed. And then when I lived by myself in Holland Park in my late 20s, I didn't have any ceiling fans or air conditioning.
Oh my God.
So I had a pedestal fan. It was fucking hot.
Yeah, that sounds
And I
awful.
lived on a ground floor apartment, so I couldn't even open the windows.
Ooh.
That place was a sauna.
Yeah. I remember this being huge in high school, writing letters to your friends in class, and not just like in a normal like writing letter way. Like we were huge and you would like decorate it and you write in like different color glitter pens and then you'd fold it in this very specific little envelope way.
I don't think I did it in class, but I do remember like having friends that were in other year levels and like writing them long letters.
Yes.
Really long letters.
Really long, very detailed letters.
Yeah.
I still have some of them.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah. I have a whole like big container in the shed of stuff from high school and primary school.
I remember when we were moving out of the house that we lived in when I was in grade 11, moving into the house we lived in, like we lived in that house the whole time. And some of my old shit was in a box in the garage and a mouse ran out of it. And I was like, chuck the whole thing in the bin.
That's my worst nightmare.
So that's where all of my, like just the whole thing in the bin because it was in our shed.
Burn it.
Yeah. So it's all gone. I wouldn't want to read that.
I don't read them. I just
have to
look
read
at
my
them.
Facebook statuses. That's bad enough.
I delete them as soon as they come up. Like that system works well because I get a memory and I'm like, delete.
What about when you accidentally comment on something and then it puts it in everybody's feed?
Oh, yeah. That happens to you a lot.
I think it's funny.
All right. Ordering home ice cream. I feel like this was a country thing.
Well, we didn't have it where I grew up.
Oh, God.
Yeah. But at my nan's house in Toowoomba.
There you go.
But you didn't order it.
They came to you?
The truck came around and the mango one, the mango and cream.
Yes.
Home ice cream. Slaps. I would love one of those right now.
We used to have the ones that were like, it was a box of Maltesers and it was like caramel, chocolate and
With
strawberry.
that chocolate on the outside.
Well, we had those as well, but these were just like flavored ice cream, like paddle pops, and they were so yummy.
And was there like a jelly top one?
Yes.
Yeah. Home ice cream is so good.
So good. Do you know you can still get it?
I was about to say, I told you that Nan listened to an episode of the podcast with my mum.
Oh, no. Yes.
She said she enjoyed it. She listened to the Do It For Your Grandma version.
Oh, yeah.
She said she enjoyed it, but there was no need for me to sweat so much.
Actually, in editing the Kiali episode, that took a long time between the three of us. There was a lot of me cutting out the F word. But it's still a fantastic app. All right. I feel like everyone was just so into this, watching Oprah, Jerry Springer, and Ricky Lake.
I was big into Jerry Springer.
Yeah, it was so entertaining.
Maury Povich.
Maury Povich, yeah. Yeah. And like I remember being home
You
from school.
are not the father.
How messed up is that? Like they were the weirdest things and you would watch them like every day that you were home from school or like
So
on school
strange.
holidays. So weird. And Ricky Lake and people would stand up in the crowd and be like, Ricky.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was always just like really messed up things.
Yeah, so dysfunctional. Although I feel like in this day and age it'd be even fucking worse.
Oh, right. I feel like Oprah there's a lot of really problematic content on there if you were to go back and watch Oprah. And then I never got on Dr. Phil. I thought that was weird. This is so specific and this was huge in my school and I wonder if you ever watched.
No idea what it is.
Okay, Passions. It was the weirdest show and it was on after school and it was kind of like a Bold and the Beautiful style show. But there was like a little, there was like a talking doll and like a witch.
Never heard of it.
Okay, I'm sure a lot of people have. DM us. It was weird.
Didn't watch TV after school, went to sport.
What?
Straight to sport.
Raced home, got my bowl of ice cream and Milo.
We
watched
went
TV.
straight to the pool.
Yeah.
We swam all the way through. So we walked from school to the pool and then from swimming training went to either basketball or touch a couple of nights a week.
Jesus.
We did so much sport.
Oh, I came home and watched my shows. One day a week we would do swimming and then Friday we would do squad.
Oh no, we did swimming every day.
See why you don't like swimming now?
Yeah. So when I was in like later primary school, I did morning and evening before and after school.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then swimming carnivals every weekend. This is why I don't like swimming. I've had enough. I've done it. I've clocked it.
That's very fair. I totally get that.
And that's like when people say things like, oh, when you swim, you do this many kicks and this many breaths. I'm like, I don't think about it. I just swim.
I've just trauma blocked it.
I just swim. Like I can just swim.
It just comes naturally.
Yeah.
Now I see why you're so fast. Okay. I don't know if you will have even experienced this because of where you lived.
Once.
Okay. McDonald's birthday parties with freezer tours.
I don't remember the freezer tour part, but I think I remember, Mum will probably fact check me on this and be like, you went to heaps. I remember one.
So when I was growing up, McDonald's parties were the biggest thing. Everyone had a Macca's party. You would go and you would like have chicken nuggets, like you would pick your meal, and then there was always like a frozen ice cream cake. And
with the Freddos on top?
No, a Macca's frozen ice cream cake.
Oh.
It was very specific to McDonald's. And like after, so you would play your games. Like there was a person that facilitated it all, and then you would win prizes that were McDonald's themed. And then you would go on a tour through the freezer and you would see the ice cream and like see the kitchen and stuff, which I now realize is a huge hazard. And then you would eat the ice cream.
Don't remember about the freezer tour.
It was so fun. And where I grew up, like I think there was a few of them in Sydney, there was like specific McDonald's that had like train carriages, and like that is where you would have the party, and they were very fun.
Fun.
Yeah. Okay. Or you can eat Pizza Hut.
I feel like I only went to the Pizza Hut a few times, but we were like ape shit for Sizzler.
Sizzler, the cheesy bread.
We were like, anytime we were in somewhere that had a Sizzler, we wanted to go to Sizzler. Like we would beg.
How good was
Beg
Sizzler?
to go to Sizzler. What would you eat first at Sizzler?
The cheesy bread.
Well, that comes out first, but what, like on your own accord?
I would get the Caesar salad.
Weird.
A bit of that. And
I would always go straight for pumpkin soup.
yes, I always got the pumpkin soup.
And then I'd always make pasta Alfredo.
Yes, I'd eat pasta.
And the chocolate mousse. And
I was going to say the chocolate
chips in
mousse.
it.
Chocolate mousse with the choc chips. And the cubes of jelly on the side.
I don't know if I fucked with the jelly.
Sometimes I would even mix them.
There was always that cup of soft drink that
Yes.
everybody put random shit in, and then you'd pay someone to drink the cup of soft drink.
I'm so glad you just said this. So when we went to Sizzler in high school, it was someone's birthday party, and we made this concoction. It was disgusting. Like, I'm not even going to tell you what we put in it. And I dared one of my friends to drink it for $2, and he did. And then he had to go to hospital and get his stomach pumped. And his mum, like, I called to apologize, and she was just like, did not forgive me. I was like 16, but like he drank it.
That's
so I'm
so
glad
funny.
that was a thing.
What about I remember that's definitely a thing, and paying someone. What about recorders?
Oh, do you know how many recorders I have hiding on top of the fridge?
I blew a recorder in someone's ear and I burst someone's eardrum. That's probably the worst thing I did in primary school. I just didn't think, like I just went up and went.
Yeah. I remember one day doing something really, really silly and then just really, really regretting it.
Yeah.
And I did like one thing. Whereas, I mean, I'm sure there was people that were like naughty all the time, but that sounds painful.
What about I'd learned to play Celine Dion, My Heart Will Go On the recorder.
What? You're such an overachiever. I just learned hot cross buns.
That's where my musical career started and ended. I peaked too early.
I bet your mum loved you practicing that at home. Oh, there's so many like weird specific primary school things. I remember like painting props for a school play that I so desperately wanted to be in, but I didn't even make the part of like a tree.
Green tree fall.
I didn't even
What
get
about
that.
painting your fingernails with whiteout?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I used to do that. It looks so trashy. I would die if Mooshie did that. Did you used to
She
practice
will.
dance routines at school?
Yeah, once we did in primary school a dance routine to Moulin Rouge, which is so inappropriate.
Yeah. We did one to pump it.
And we didn't understand why it was inappropriate.
Yeah. I remember.
What about that Hey Mickey song?
Oh, I love that song.
And Steps 5, 6, 7, 8.
And what's the other one?
S Club 7.
Yeah. And do you know what was huge when I was in school? That where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come
Cotton
from?
Eye Joe.
Yeah, that was huge. I was thinking about that actually when Magnolia had a disco. We
was
used to
big.
do discos all the time at school, and it was so fun.
Blue light discos.
I only went to one. I was only allowed to go to one at Browns Plains, and it was scary.
I was allowed to go a few times and I should not have been.
No, it was not.
We used to have to get a bus from
God.
like from our town to an hour away. And like you imagine teenagers
You really
on
sound
a
like
bus.
you're stuck there.
Yeah, you are.
That doesn't sound nice at all. Do you remember there were bath gels, and you used to get them from Body Shop and like a few other places, and they were like a round ball, and they were kind of like you'd put them in the bath and they would dissolve, and like bath oil would go in the bath.
Yeah.
They don't exist anymore, and they felt so nice when they like dissolved in your hands. They were huge. Everyone was obsessed with them. I guess we have bath bombs now.
Well, I haven't had a bath bomb in ages. Actually, the girl's house who I went to last night for the Origin,
Yeah.
they live just across the road from me. And she's like, do you have a bath at your house? And I was like, no.
Did she want to come and bath at your house? Because
No, she had a bath. And she's like, so if you ever want to come like have a bath, come over.
My best friend who lives in the UK now, she used to always be like, can I come and have a bath in your bath? And I'm like, no.
I don't really get around baths.
I hate baths. They're disgusting.
Like you just get in and you think, this is going to be cool. I'm going to relax.
It's
and then
hot
you just
and
get really
gross.
sweaty and then you're like a bit
sick.
bored and
Yes.
then you got to get out.
And then you realize you're floating in a pool of filth.
that doesn't really faze me. It's just getting bored.
I just think they're gross. I hate baths. But my kids get bath bombs all the time and they smell nice. And I see the appeal of a bath bomb.
And then you come out, you got like little bits of glitter on you. It's nice.
But you can also just get them from Lush. They have that like bath bomb that you can wash yourself with in the shower, and same experience, but much nicer. Maybe you missed out on this one because of your swimming, but did you ever watch Aerobics Oz Style in the mornings before school or before your cartoons?
I don't think I was big into watching it.
I didn't watch it, but like if you woke up too early, you had to sit through it for like 10 minutes before your shows came on.
I remember like Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon being on in the morning.
Oh yeah, we used to watch like Cheese TV.
Yeah, Cheese TV.
Yeah, or Aggro.
Aggro. So I've got this blanket at my house and I can put a picture of it up and I still use it all the time and it's Aggro.
That's probably worth a lot of money.
And it's like the best. It's like a quilt,
Aw.
but it's like a king single size. So
Yeah.
it's like perfect size and it's like the perfect temperature. And on one side, it's a big picture of aggro and on the other side, it's all these little aggros.
That's so cute.
It's like, I sound like a fucking weirdo that has a blankie.
No, that's not weird.
I don't have any emotional attachment to this blanket except for that it's just the perfect blanket for everything.
I love that.
I'll send you a photo of it.
Okay. You put this one. You contributed one.
Yeah, I put one thing in. Actually, I put two things in.
Oh, okay. Yep. What's this one?
Watching The Simpsons on Fox 8.
I wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons growing up.
So we weren't allowed to watch The Simpsons growing up from mum.
Yeah.
Divorced parents. Dad would let us watch.
Yeah.
Then mum realised that dad was letting us watch and that she'd lost.
Yeah.
So then we were allowed to watch. And then Fox 8 Saturday morning, nothing but Simpsons.
How good was Foxtel back in the day?
Yeah.
Like all of
Well, I feel like it just had The Simpsons.
yeah, there was a lot of Simpsons
And like Jerry Springer.
and Friends, back-to-back Friends.
Yeah.
Charmed. I used to love waking up and watching Foxtel. It was so good.
Yeah, I just watched The Simpsons on Fox 8 and then Futurama later on.
Oh my God, I used to love Futurama and Family Guy.
Yeah, I've watched Family Guy. I wouldn't say I feel as fondly of it as I do The Simpsons and Futurama.
Oscar's asked if he can watch The Simpsons and I just don't know.
I reckon early Simpsons. The later the seasons get.
Yeah, they're intense.
Yeah. What about the weird things that The Simpsons have like predicted?
Oh, so many. Trump.
Strange.
So strange. This one.
No, I don't know what this is.
I know because we just realised that you obviously thought I was born in Queensland and I thought you were born in New South Wales, but I was born in New South Wales and you were born in Queensland. And I lived there. I lived in Sydney until I was 8. And when I was little, Big Dog was this dog that would come on TV at like 6 o'clock and they did this whole little nighttime routine. And when Big Dog went to bed, like you had to go to bed too.
Oh.
Yeah. It was
Never
huge.
heard of-
Everyone like went to bed when Big Dog did.
Do you know what is a nostalgic thing that's got legs?
Yeah.
That's had legs? The fucking Wiggles.
Oh, they're the most famous Australian band in the whole world.
I went to the Wiggles so many times
Did
when I
you?
was a kid.
Okay, this is a generation gap because I was just like a year or two too old for the Wiggles when they came out. And I remember being really jealous of the younger kids.
Oh, no, we went to the Wiggles when I was in kindy.
Yeah, that's not fair. See, I would have been like 2 years older than you and I would have been like too cool for the Wiggles. But yeah, I wish that I was in the right age bracket for the Wiggles because it did look like a lot of fun. I just used to kind
We
of
were big
stand there
Wiggles
awkwardly
family.
on the side, death staring my little sister getting amongst it.
Too cool for school.
Even though in my head I was like, hot potato, hot potato. Okay, games. So this one, playing with like, you used to get like a piece of wool.
Yeah, I know
and you-
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and you
then you
tie
get
it
someone to put
around
their hand through and then it
and
will
that
come
would
off.
disappear.
Yeah,
That was so fun.
that was fun.
I want to look up how to do that now. For
And then
the
you do
kids.
the
Yes. And it would be hours of fun
yeah,
with a piece of wool.
simple,
Kids these days,
simple things.
they don't know how to make things fun. Okay. Solitaire. And you used to play on the computer and it had like the colourful fish on the back and like you could kind of change the different themes.
Yeah.
Did you have a computer in the country?
Yeah, we had a computer. I remember playing solitaire, not as anchored into the colourful fish. And Minesweeper, I didn't know what it was or how it worked. And I just remember clicking random shit
Yeah, same.
and
I
not
used to
knowing what
click,
was
click.
happening.
Damn, and be over. Yeah, I was the same.
So what about Snake?
Snake was the best. I'd play Snake now if it was available.
Why isn't it available?
I don't know. I'm not buying my kids. We're going to do an episode. I want to do an episode on social media and technology and kids and stuff, but I'm not getting my kids iPhones until they're like 16 and then allowed social media. I've made a decision and a few of my friends are going to do the same thing so that we're like a united front. So I'm going to buy my kids like a proper either like a Nokia 3310 if I can get my hands on something like that or like just an old school phone. And they can play Snake. That'll be so fun for them.
Snake was
Snake was
fun.
the best. Oh, and while we're talking about phones like that, do you remember printing out ringtones and you would have to like key them in to your phone? So you would like Google when computers were first a thing, like Britney Spears Hit Me One More Time, and it would like print out the buttons that you have to push to like make the song, and that would be your ringtone.
Is this like old school coding? Didn't you have to buy them? Didn't you have to ring
you
up
had
and
to buy them sometimes, but like then eventually free ones came out. I remember sitting there for hours trying to do Wonderwall, and then you would get like one thing wrong and you'd listen to it and it'd be like beep, and then you'd be like fuck, and then you have to start it all over again.
I wonder how that technology works.
Interesting. We should look into that.
I remember buying them and it would be like $4 or something. You have to ring up and
I remember doing that too.
And it was in like magazines and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
God, the things we had to do. Do you remember using Paint, like Microsoft Paint on the computer? And you would like, all I ever used was that spray for everything. There was like a spray can.
Yeah.
And you could paint, and that was all I ever did. I remember like I've got my year 7 yearbook and I designed the front, and the whole front is just literally that multicolor spray with like my name on it.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't remember it well, but I do remember word art and like printing things on word art.
Right.
Yeah.
And doing like, I remember doing like borders and word art and like learning that in computer class in year 6.
Like printing it out for like, remember when we used to do assignments on like big bits of board?
Yes.
You'd have to go to the newsagents and get a big bit of board to do some school assignment.
And they had project packs at the newsagents. You could go and get like a project pack on like sharks or the Olympics. And then
I don't think we had that.
You would cut pieces of those out as well and put them on your cardboard.
Yeah, no, I remember gluing shit to cardboard.
Yeah.
And printing out word art.
I was very good at those. That's where I shined. Buying phone credit.
Yes.
That's weird. That was painful.
Going to the newsagents and be like, I can't text you. I've got no credit.
And like checking your credit all the time.
Yes.
Be like, I've got one text message left.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what about like when 1 cent text came out?
Yes.
And it being like the best thing ever?
Or like you would have unlimited. No, sometimes you'd be able to like make calls after like 9:30 for like free or less money.
Yeah.
What about
it was dog shit, the plans.
Right. And what about, did you ever, like when you had a landline, were you just like terrified of your friends ringing and your dad answering?
No, because my dad didn't live with us.
Or ringing a friend and their dad answering.
And you'd have to talk to them.
And you'd have to talk to them. I had this.
I don't feel like we did that much ringing.
Oh, we did. We went through a real ringing phase.
And we just like walked to our friends' houses.
Oh, yeah. You could probably do that in your tiny town. But I remember calling this one friend, and I feel like people listening to this will know. I would call her and I'd be like, oh, hi, is so-and-so home? And he'd be like, yep. And then hang up. And then you'd have to call back again and be like, hi, so-and-so home. Can I talk to her? And he'd be like, oh, you want to talk to her? And then he'd put her on.
Oh, my God.
It was hell. And he did it every time without fail.
That's so funny.
Yeah. And I remember like if a boy was going to call the house, I would get them to ring once, hang up, and then ring back again. So I had time to run to the phone before my dad answered.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
My when I was in high school, my stepdad used to work in a shop and he was heavy on prank calls.
Yeah.
So he would ring us and prank us all the time. It was pretty funny.
I love prank calls.
He was real heavy on prank calls.
That's so funny. Nothing better than a good prank call. Did you have a pink Motorola Razr?
Yep, I sure did.
Best.
Very cool.
So cool.
Very, very cool.
Mine got stolen at a party, and to this day it's one of the saddest things of my
life.
life.
Phones were always getting stolen.
Always getting stolen.
Do you remember I was trying to explore talking about this trivia recently? Like I remember like the Nokia 3310, 3315. That was like one of my first phones.
Yeah.
But then there was this Nokia and it came out a bit later and it was like the buttons were like oval and there was like 2 on a button, like a 4 and a 7.
Yes.
And then it came with the printout thing and you could like get a magazine and you could crush a case out of a piece of paper and then the paper was clear. That was my favorite phone.
My favorite phone was very specific. It was a Nokia, and it was when flip phones came out and it had flowers on it. It was very pretty. It was like a cherry blossom design. And I remember feeling very special because no one else had that phone. But you'd go through quite a few phones.
Yeah, you would. I remember I had to save up for my first like 3310 or 3315.
Yeah.
And remember like you could only keep like 10 or 15 messages on there. So you'd have to like go through and delete.
And you only had like a limited amount of characters as well.
Yes. And remember when you had to like press the button like
my God. Yes. Yes. You had to be like A, B, B, B to get to the.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Kids these days are so
it's
lucky.
very different. Or like when internet first came on phones and it would use so much credit, like you'd accidentally click the internet thing. You'd be like, get out, get out, get out.
Abort mission. It's so funny, but it really made you conscious of like who you wanted to talk to and how you wanted to spend your money on those people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like the rush, like sometimes you remember someone sent you like a picture message when they first came out and you had to pay to receive it.
No, I don't remember that.
That was annoying. All right. AOL and MSN Messenger on dial-up internet.
Okay, dial-up internet at our house. We lived in this old church.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So the church part was like our lounge room, and then there's like 2 stairs up to the altar, which is where our dining table was. And then at the back, so we had this gigantic lounge room. Like at one point we had a ping pong table in there that took up like 1/8 of the space. And then in behind was our house.
Yeah.
And it was also a Baptist church, so it had a cellar with a trapdoor.
What? That's
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
Do you have photos of this?
My mum would.
Yeah.
It was really cool. So then we lived in the back part of the house. We had dial-up internet, and I remember that the office was like, my room was like on one side. So like on the church, there was like a door on either side. One door went to my mum's ensuite and the other door went to like right next to my bedroom. So opposite sides of the house. And I remember I had a computer in my room and the other computer. So like I had to run the cord
Oh my God.
all the way around and like plug it in. And then I remember like you would plug it in and turn it on and make that sound.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, I'll come back in an hour because it'll be ready then.
Yeah, literally. And like,
And no one could call?
yes, you couldn't call. And I remember I would wait. Like you would organize with your friends to go on at a set time. And then I would be like, all right, wait till like 8:30. But my computer was in the living room, which I guess so that I could be monitored, which as a parent, I now see this. But like I remember sitting there until like 8 o'clock and finally my friend would come online and then like someone would call my mum and I'd be like, fuck me. Because then it'd all get disconnected and then go back on and they were gone.
I remember you could put all that random shit in your name.
Yeah.
And you could see who was online.
It was so, I just remember like the adrenaline rush when like the boy you liked would like come online and you'd like wait to see if he was going to message you.
What about MySpace and like Bebo and shit like
Yeah,
that?
I loved MySpace. Game Boys and then Game Boy Color.
Yeah, we had Game Boys.
Game Boys were the best. I so wish you could still get Game Boys. I don't know why.
You cannot?
No, like you can get, we've got a Nintendo. But it's like,
What about Nintendo 64?
oh, yeah.
Slaps.
Yeah, Sega Mega Drive. We had the original Sega Mega Drive.
Generation gap.
Well, my sister was your age and she had it.
Our cousins had it and we're like, what is this fucking old thing?
What? No.
Yeah.
Well, it was the best. I had this Olympic game and like it sounded like they swore when they did this one specific thing. So then we would just like keep doing it to make them swear.
What about, did you play Mario Party on Nintendo 64?
Yes.
And the mini games?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the best game of all time.
So fun. We should, well, I have it on the Nintendo. We should play that one day.
So fun.
So fun. Okay, strange fears. Now, I don't know if some of these are just specific to me, but I think that they were like really perpetuated a lot in the 90s. So like going to jail.
Yeah, I didn't
I
fear
thought
that.
like for sure I was going to grow up and have to actively avoid jail. Like I thought jail was like a real problem in your life as an adult and like you had to try really hard to stay out of jail. And sometimes you would just end up in jail.
Did you like play so much Monopoly or something?
I don't know. I don't know if it was from like Home and Away or Neighbours. People just always like ended up in jail. Quicksand.
I know about quicksand. No, wasn't afraid of it. Didn't think I was going to run into it at any time.
It was like a big thing of like knowing what you would do if you got stuck in quicksand. Like don't struggle, stay still. Like it was like a really big thing. Quicksand was on everything. Everyone always got stuck in quicksand. It was talked about a lot.
No, I had an irrational fear of frogs in toilets.
Yeah, I tell the kids this all the time. And now they're scared of going to like a toilet outside. They're like, there's going to be a frog.
You got to flush it beforehand. I
I'm
still
always
do that
like,
to the
look for a
day.
frog.
Frogs in toilets. That's what I was afraid of.
Yeah.
That's what I was really afraid of.
My kids are scared of that now too. So.
And then I watched the movie Rest Stop.
Oh, yeah.
And got irrationally afraid of rest stop bathrooms.
Yeah, well, rest stop bathrooms are gross.
And I remember like going on car drives with my dad and my brother and like holding on because I was terrified to go in the toilet because I thought I was going to get murdered.
Yeah, well, probably would. That's where people get murdered.
That's not true.
I always had this really big fear of opening a So weird. Opening a public toilet door and there'd be a dead person sitting on the toilet.
I was always afraid that there would – that's so strange.
I got so scared that I would like tap the door lightly just to check for a dead person. And then if they weren't, I could open the door.
That's so funny.
Also stop, drop and roll. Do you remember like we used to have to practice stop, drop and roll all the time?
So you were afraid of catching on fire?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
I was like really thought that you'd grow up, you'd get caught, you'd catch on fire, you'd drown in quicksand and then you'd go to jail. It's a bleak outlook.
Very, very interesting.
Okay, and then these things that our parents had. So like dried flowers and like pressed flowers
Yeah, my nan did.
and potpourri.
Actually, Mum used to press her own flowers, I think, in
That was
books
a
and
really
stuff.
big thing.
Yeah.
Do you remember there was that art as well where like I feel like women would get together and do like they roll up paper and they cut it and they put it into like little patterns. There was a lot of really weird crafty things in the 90s.
Mum will have done them all.
And renovating like things and doing the sponge feature walls.
Oh, Mum had a sponge feature wall.
Yeah, we
it
had
was
a sponge
gold.
feature wall.
We did a gold sponge feature wall in Mum's bedroom.
And
do you
everyone
know-
had borders.
Do you know why I am the way that I am?
Why?
And by that I mean hyperactive. Mum let me pick my room colour.
Oh my God, same.
Guess what I picked?
What?
Lime green with a watermelon trim.
Love.
Imagine
that.
waking up with that sort of frequency every morning.
Do you know what I had?
What?
I had bright blue on the bottom, light blue at top, and dugong trim.
Oh.
Yeah, Dad worked very hard to find me dugong trim.
You know, my room was fluoro green and it explains heaps.
Yeah, yeah. Did you ever have like a mosquito net above your bed?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were huge.
Yeah. I had like, I think I had it over my bed and then I had it like as a hammock for all my like stuffed toys. I was big on a bedroom redecoration.
Same. We used to do it all the time.
Big
Yeah.
on it. It was like a little bit of control in our teenage lives.
Right. Oh, I used to love redoing my room. I just remember like lots of like plastic fruit in bowls everywhere.
I remember this is a really specific memory that I do have is my neighbor at my nan's house. They were really nice and I can't remember their names at all. We were always in their house as kids and they were always so friendly and so happy to have us. But I remember once I like grabbed these grapes out of this random bowl and the man like proper roused on me.
Oh.
And I just ran back to Nan's and I was just like terrified.
Yeah. Isn't
And like
it the
he
worst
probably
when you're
was
little
probably
and
just
old people
like
would yell at you?
yeah, just like put that down. What are you doing? But in my mind, he was so scary after that.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
I love all the weird shit from the 90s, like 90s houses.
I think my nan had a bowl of glass fruit.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's fancy.
Oh, fancy. Also, she had the ironing board that came out of the
Yes. My nan had that too.
out of the cupboard.
Yeah. My nan had all of like the glassware with ducks on them. They were very popular. It was like a lady duck with like a hat on.
What about that blue house print? Everybody had that.
I have that in like I've got some bowls that my auntie gave me and they're literally that.
Everybody had that. Hey, it was so
Funny. All right. Thanks so much for listening to today's episode. We hope you guys have had as much fun listening to it as we did making and researching it. If you're not following us on Instagram, please do at Bread and Better Podcast. Make sure you do for this episode because there's going to be so much fun content coming out of this.
Yep. And as we said before, we would so appreciate it if you could please leave us a review on Apple so that other listeners can find us too and so that we can make money so that we can spend more time creating the podcast for you.
Yay!
Thanks, guys.
Bye.